You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Indeed there is. So hello, Professor Bright here. Welcome back to Slay the Princess, where things took quite the turn. Last episode, we saw some hint of some greater entity behind all of this. And I'm not entirely convinced that it is the same thing that is the princess, if that makes sense. It could be the narrator. Although, it's hard to say, because I was looking for some sort of vessel to fill, as it were. And something that was shaped like itself. And admittedly, the narrator doesn't have a character, doesn't have a shape. So, I kind of think it has to be the princess, but then why? And we end up in the same place that we started, which, mind you, is a very interesting place. The question this game is asking right now is, how can we trust other people? And that is an excellent question. I like that. I don't know how this ends, ultimately, what statement the game makes, but this game just, out the gate, is asking a question of, a very fundamental question of, how do you trust other people? And that has so much implication for, well, how you view life, and how you work in civilization. It's an excellent little narrative. I was going to say narrative trick, but that seems condescending to it. A narrative... well, just an interesting narrative, honestly. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. And if this is a proper reset, if you get my meaning. Because we're in Chapter 1 again. We kept progressing through other chapters, and now we're back at the start? But we know what happened. Do they know?
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
So far it seems like no. Ah. So this might be a true reset. You can skip previously seen dialogue by hitting tab on your keyboard or RI on your controller. What's RI? R1. Yes. I think I did go with, okay, thank you for telling me what to do. But yeah. Killing a princess seems kind of bad, though, doesn't it?
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
Fair. And now, about this end of the world. We saw, to a degree, what the end of the world looks like. Maybe? Unclear. There's talk of the world not having enough thread, which, again, is an interesting little bit of, hey, there are limits to how far this story can go by nature of its being a game. It was a fun way of sort of, what's the word I want to use? A bit of narrative winking at the camera, as it were. Also, I love this little somber background piece. Have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock.
Are we, though?
Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation.
Oh, please do.
Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that.
But isn't there?
It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
Do I get some sort of reward for doing this? Also, have I already checked through all these? I don't think I did the first time. I'm pretty sure I just said, oh, okay, thanks for telling me what to do. But I wonder if these would have reset.
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
But how can a princess locked away in a basement end the world?
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do.
Oh, I intend to
Get
do
in
that.
there and do what needs to be done.
Do you have any evidence to back this up?
Look,
Yes,
you're
thank you.
already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far.
That's
you
a
might as
terrible
well reach
argument.
the end of your journey.
So the answer is no, you don't. Do I get some sort of reward for doing this?
Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it.
Ah, appeal to the greed. Gotcha. Can you tell me what my prize is going to be for doing a good job? Yes, what will be my prize for doing a good job stabbing this person?
It's a secret, but I think you'll like it. It's a special reward, just for you. And whatever you think it might be, I can promise you it's going to be even better than your wildest imagination.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's quite the thing because I have quite the imagination. Yeah, I'm just gonna exhaust options real quick. I'm also gonna have to... See, the problem is I've had like a day between episodes, and I'm like, did I explore all of these? Because it says explore, which would imply that they are new, but maybe they just don't change after the first loop, or after we do that hard reset we did.
Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end.
I don't know about that.
I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists, or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
No. Can someone else? Why can't you do this?
Oh, if only that were the case, but I don't make the rules.
Who does?
I have to say, I'm surprised at your reluctance thus far, but unfortunately for the both of us,
I'm just
you're
exploring
the only
options.
one who can pull this off. Like I said, I don't make the rules, no matter how much I wish I did.
Except you did make me stab her. I'm pretty sure it was you anyway. Can I just say no?
Are you serious? No, you have to do it.
No. I could just turn around and leave. Let's find out.
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
Back into the void. The only thing that matters is where I'm not going. The cabin. I am not going to the cabin.
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong.
Okay, we got the
Better
hero
wash our
still.
hands of this whole situation than to take part in it. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
You sure about that?
That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
Turn around again and leave again.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish.
I
if you ask
mean-
me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever.
You provided no evidence, sir. This is a little bit of a spoiled well, I wouldn't say spoiled response, but, yeah. It's kind of, no, I'm not gonna go with that. And you're not emotionally, but this seems like the more mature response. You're not emotionally blackmailing me into doing this.
Stakes and consequences aren't emotional blackmail. They're facts of life, and if you had an ounce of maturity, you'd understand that.
Except, I kind of am not obligated to save your world.
But fine.
So far.
You turn around and trek back down the path you came.
We're also
Oh,
showing
would
the
you look at
narrator.
that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated
How many
confrontation
times can I
with the
do
princess.
this? Oh yeah? Well, I guess I start walking in a different direction. Again. In fact, I'm going to just keep trekking through the wilderness until I find a way out of this place.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will.
I'm not convinced that there is an everyone else. I'm pretty sure it's just you, me, the voices in my head, and the princess.
And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen.
Oh, like the little distortion.
At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light.
Well,
In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. Not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be.
wow.
Wait,
This is more disturbing
what's going on?
than it was a second ago.
But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world.
Kind of. I mean, we already lost 2-3 worlds, question mark, on number 3, but, what's one more? And apparently an infinite number of others. Huh.
You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death.
I didn't know it was going to be certain death. I was looking for another option.
You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Huh.
You're on a path in the
Oh
woods.
god.
And at the end of that path is a cabin.
At the end of the cabin is a
basement of that
princess.
cabin is a princess.
In the basement, sorry. I can't help but notice the walls.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Huh. Oh, you bastard, you're in for it now. I'm wise to your tricks. Those walls weren't here last time. You can't just force me to go to the cabin.
What are you talking about? I'm sure those walls have always been there. It makes sense if you think about it. If there weren't any walls in the woods, someone might have gotten lost. Or, heaven forbid, someone other than you might have
totally.
stumbled onto the princess.
Totally makes sense. Yep.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. I don't know. I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking. He's like a captive audience.
Oh god. It's me. Oh no.
He might have walled off everything but the path to the cabin, but I'm sure there's plenty of other ways we can ruin his day.
I mean, tempting, but I also kind of want to save the princess. Maybe. Not sure.
If by ruining my day, you mean ruining everyone's day forever...
Who's
then
everyone?
yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off. The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky. The world hasn't ended yet. And you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead.
Yep, okay, heading to the cabin now, where I definitely going to slay that princess.
I can tell when you're lying, right? Please take this seriously. I am begging you.
I am, and I think this is a path out. Perhaps.
A warning before you go any further.
Uh-huh.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying
When you
her.
say she, I know your voice is
Don't
rather
believe a word
masculine,
she
but,
says.
I can't help but notice that you have already cheated. You are potentially lying, and you appear to be doing everything in your power to keep me on the path of slaying
If
her.
we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it. Let's keep an open mind.
Ah, okay.
The
Fine.
cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space. But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense.
Fascinating.
The only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths, its material devoid of feature. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
I mean, it's not entirely devoid of feature. It kind of looks like wood there,
The
but
blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust, or better yet, grab it.
Oh.
Throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway?
sounds good. I like that.
Take in the knife. Have you seen this place? We have literally no idea what to expect and no idea what we're dealing with. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do
I don't
have
trust
to
those
explain this
italics.
incredibly simple and straightforward premise? You can't just say that. But when everything here is so wrong.
Sorry, I'm just having fun moving the setting around. This is actually kind of really
Listen.
entertaining to me.
My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action, save the entire world. And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart. You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her. Oh, ho, ho, ho. You've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose ourselves?
An excellent question.
Nothing.
Self.
Because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm. How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind. Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird.
Hey.
What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard. Okay, I'm fine.
I have to calm down that voice. I get it.
Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task.
Hey, look, a mirror. And now I'm not entirely convinced that these are not, new well, let me rephrase that. The explore options, I might have already taken them before in the past.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement.
I don't think it changes.
It's a wall. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we walk
Hero,
off
could
that
you keep
layer
your
of grime.
voice, shush? Silent?
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. But there was a mirror a second ago, and now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see.
Pretty inevitably. Let's follow the contrarian voice.
The door to the basement creaks
Oh,
open,
I love this.
revealing a web of branching staircases all built from unidentifiable materials.
Indeed.
Nothing here seems to belong, and the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get. your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even seem to go anywhere, let alone down.
Yes, the knife definitely would have helped us, right?
The air here has
And
a
notice...
sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. An odour that is simultaneously everything and yet the sum of it all coalescing into a thick, nauseating nothing.
Yes, and I'm not sure if this is intentional, but these kind of remind me of little hairs, little curls of hair. Probably not intentional, these are just various paths branching off, but hum. Curious. And how they all twist together.
If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour.
Honestly, I could see arguments thereof.
Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality, drags up the stairs.
I'm gonna hate this voice, aren't I?
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
Never mind, kinda love that.
No, thank you. Oh, don't be such a baby.
Come on.
I don't want to do this.
I bet you don't.
Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like whatever we do, we're gonna die.
Most likely. Probably should have brought the knife in that scenario, but, well.
We don't even have a weapon. But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure.
What's that?
And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success? There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
I mean, perhaps, but... Harsh, center, or soft? I mean... Is this gonna reflect her attitudes towards us? Let's go with the center staircase, then.
You step onto the center staircase.
A
Paths
balance,
wind out
as it
around
were.
you in all directions, each step branching into its own staircases, which branch into their own staircases, and so on. You aren't quite sure if yours is taking you up or down, but at the very least, it's taking you somewhere. You concentrate on where you are.
Oh hey, more
Careful not
branches.
to stray onto any of the many splitting branches that tempt you on all sides. You wouldn't want to have to backtrack to yours once you'd made a decision that took you someplace else.
Way to literally describe how visual novels work. Interesting.
And so you take one careful, focused step after another. 1 foot down, another foot down, another after that. You lose yourself in following the correct pattern, in following what looks to be the true path, the one that cuts straight down, or up, or maybe sideways.
I can't help but feel like I've skipped a considerable amount of narrative by doing this.
But
Which
no
I somewhat
matter the
regret.
direction it goes, it certainly is the most true path. You know that much.
Again, describing visual novels and the idea of a true ending versus a side ending.
You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether. Physical sensations dull and then vanish, until the only things experienced are the endless repeating patterns and emotions of the journey, a continuous march forward to a destination long forgotten. Consumption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Can I?
What the hell was that? What happened to us?
What was that back then? Sorry, is there like a history? Can I help you?
I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs.
Hi.
Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways.
As you say, but this is different.
The princess, eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. Don't forget why you're here. And, why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down. You're here to... He's just being an ass, we remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems... normal.
Which is much better than path number 2, as I recall, where she was a soulless, lifeless thing. Getting down here was weird. Like I was... Well, can I help you? I feel like I'm gonna actually get direct answers this time, so... What's your name?
Princess. You can call me Princess, if you'd like.
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures. And where there was once just one of her, there is now another.
Nothing else in this game is gonna top this.
We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back? You said you'd been here before, right? What exactly happened last time? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. But I'm not going to waste any more time prying out details if you're going to be so irritating about it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head, unthink them. If it's not already too late. You have a job to do here, and you need to do it now. Ooh, new plan. Let's see if we can make even more of her.
Maybe don't. No. Interesting. Interesting. Kind of love that. I do want to know, though. Getting down here was weird, like I was pulled apart and put back together again. You know what happened to me?
I don't remember what it was like before I was in this place. Why would I know what happened to you?
They have multiple voice actors on this. Huh, I thought previously it might have just been a filter that they put on the previous voice that asked if I was here to kill. But no, these are different voice actresses entirely.
We're probably stuck down here forever, aren't we? There's
think?
no way out, and barely a way in.
I'm gonna have to look at the actor's credit.
Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled apart too. It's so terrifying down here. But at least now you're not alone. And I'm not alone either.
There's more of you now.
There must be something wrong with you. I'm the same as I was a moment ago. I don't feel like I've gotten any bigger.
Like, this is all the same voice.
What's that supposed to mean? Are you trying to get under my skin?
She fractures again. I don't like where this is going.
Neither do I.
Neither do I. Which is why you need to slay her now before things get more complicated than they already are. How would we even do that? Where would we start?
Just start stabbing.
Could always start by retrieving the blade. Can we even leave this place? I don't like thinking about what might happen to us if we have to go back through those stairs. Well, that's where the blade is. If you want it, you'll have to go and get it. Okay, this was fun for a bit, but we can't even really interact with her, can we? What's the point of asking questions if all we're going to get is a million answers?
Well, they all seem to be of the same
I
form.
can't even follow what's going on anymore.
I can. Time and space are fracturing.
We need to get out of here. This whole place is making me itch.
I'm good. I'm pretty sure I could actually create another fracture by doing this. Which, I mean, at this point we kind of already have, but I'm kind of curious what this does. Although... I also feel like this is the only time I'm going to get answers.
Is this a quiz?
If you're here, then surely you know why I'm here.
No, I don't, sadly. I kind of seem to have skipped ahead.
But you know, right? You have to know. You're the only other person I've ever seen. Or at least the only one I can remember. Don't give me false hope. Please just end this already. One way or another, just do it.
Don't be coy. We both know why I'm locked away here. I'm a monster, and the second I get out of this place, I'm going to end the entire world.
This is reaching its breaking point. If you don't act now, there will be nothing in here but her. Take a deep breath and focus up. You can do this. But how do we decide what to do? Can there even be a right choice when all of them are so different? Stop overthinking it. Your drifting thoughts have clearly been part of the reason this situation has gotten out of hand. If you're trying to do the right thing, there's only ever been the one option, and that option is slaying her. Just do something. Do anything. Do all of it, if that's what you want. This place is hell, and it's only getting worse.
Oh, come now. I wonder. Could I have gotten something out of doing the other option? I don't know. I'm not... Well, at this point it's too late. But I'm not particularly inclined to rewind. Maybe if I had made a save there, but oh well.
Wait, that's not right.
Yeah, we're gonna do everything at once.
Go on.
Yeah. What now? That was our only option.
You take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different. You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride.
Is this intentionally looking like eyes?
You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions.
Yes.
You find the blade suddenly in your hands. All at once you use it to strike at her bindings as you remain upstairs and slay her and leave her to languish alone. Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess.
Indeed. And hello, what's this you've got? Something with which to open that. This one seems eager to die, this one resisting, this one being left alone. Huh.
But this...
Nope.
We can't...
Nope. Hate it. Weirdly enough, I hate this one more than the rest of them. They just look like normal distortions. This one... No. No.
Do you not have anything witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now.
And somehow it gets worse.
No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating.
Disagree, but... Oof.
Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all falls apart.
Sadly, no.
I think he's gone. We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and others,
they just don't fit. They just don't fit.
we can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
We should help her. I think we did this.
Oh god, I think we did.
How surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences.
I mean, I knew there were going to be consequences, okay? I knew that. I just didn't know it would be this.
It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Oh, fuck you.
Please.
I'll do my best. Oh. But you don't know if she had the chance to hear your reply. She's gone, replaced with something else.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her?
She was pulled away by hands, which kind of does make me evaluate that statement that the thing with the hands and the trying to grab onto our glass soul, as it were, that is a separate entity. But also, hi, here's the mirror.
There's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Good question. I think I'm supposed to look at the mirror.
There's something dreadful about it. I don't think you should. No. Don't do that.
The narrator is gone.
He is. Does that mean the world ended?
Means a world ended.
Again?
Which implies that he's part of those worlds. Sorry to speak over you, but it implies that he is part of those worlds. Okay. Approach the
I'm
mirror.
begging you, don't do this.
I want to know. The mirror never scared you before.
It's different now. It feels... I don't know. Final.
Curious. You approach the mirror. Gaze into your reflection. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone, but the mirror remains. It's time for you to see what's in it. It's you. You are alone in a place that is empty. It is quiet here. Proceed to the cabin. You are at the cabin. Approach her. You recognize the presence inhabiting the shell. It is the entity that dwells in the spaces between. Ah.
Something returns to the long quiet. It has surrendered its path of annihilation and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
You're that thing I met in the space outside of the woods, aren't you? I think I've stumbled upon the end.
Vague recollections, empty tunnels without a mouth. I am sorry if I frightened you.
What are you?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
What do you think I am?
I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
Interesting metaphor. The gift of a fragile vessel.
Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. These ones are a contradiction, a winding kaleidoscope of paths and walls. They are stretched into a shape not unlike me, but it is a shape they cannot hold. I am sorry that you met this vessel so early in your journey, but they will make for a rich and vibrant heart. Do not mourn them, for they will finally get to know themselves.
I don't like this. Do you know the narrator?
You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
Are you the princess?
She is part of me, and part of me.
But was
is
she
her.
always? Ah, thank you. But were you always the princess, or are you just making her a part of yourself?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
Yes. Are you what sent me here to slay the princess? Are you what trapped me here?
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have
Curious.
trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
Do you know about the worlds beyond this place?
I know only that they are.
Is this the end of the world? Also, I don't know if I want... Like, letting her out of here, she didn't want to exist. So I'm made to think, perhaps not, on that
How
front.
can the world have ended if we are talking?
Fair assessment, I guess. It could be part of the process of ending a world, but it isn't necessarily the end of the world. Destroy your body or attack the entity. I think this'll have more chance of bringing us back, but... Can you let her out of there?
I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me. I promise that it doesn't hurt.
What happens now?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
Aren't you scared that I'll find a way to kill you? Do I want to kill her? I don't think I do. I was sent to slay the princess to stop her from destroying the world. If I help you, is that what you're going to do?
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
Fair point. Destruction as the part of the process of creation, or the other side of it. You can't create without material, you need material to create, and that material has to come from somewhere, usually destruction. You're being semantic. What are you going to do if I help you?
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
Sort of the surface level consciousness, not the deeper creature, as it were. Aren't you scared I'll find a way to kill you?
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
Fair. Do you have a preference in the, two options? Out of curiosity? Because the princess didn't seem to want to exist a minute ago, so... How many more pieces of you do I have to find?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
By the way, I love whatever filter they have done, or what they did with the acoustics of the area, to make it sound hollow and empty, this voice. Or echoing. Not hollow and empty, I suppose, but as if it is coming from a hollow space. How much will I forget?
Everything. Until we meet again.
And what if I don't let you do this to me?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished. Dry. Hollow.
I suppose, given the options, make me forget.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
Oh, God. Oh. Ooh, love that. Love that. Ha!
You're on a path in the woods.
And at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the
And
basement,
in the basement of that
cabin is a princess. We're not syncing up perfectly, narrator. I have to say, quite disappointing. Okay, so all these explore options remain... Well, see, now I don't know. Oh, I don't know now if these explore options actually change. Because in my eagerness to get to the end, to find... Well, to defy the narrator, if we're going to be completely honest, I accidentally got to what I think must be the ending. Although now it wants us to see more before it goes back there, which I think is a sort of defense of, it's kind of weird to, in the second hour, be at the true ending. And by our nature, sometimes some of us are defiant. And, well, we're bound to be there at some point. Without having explored all the, I don't want to say generic options, but, somewhat generic options. And I loved the voice acting there. Especially she asks that you remember her. You won't. Bam. Dead. The end. Oh. God, I love this game. Love the narrative of it. Just for formality's sake, I'm only going to take this option.
Talking about the end of everything as we know.
Yeah, everything ends. I get that. And how?
Don't...
Any evidence?
Look, you're all... While I...
Yeah.
Does it?
This is a fair point, though. I mean, I'm not really a monarchist, but killing anybody seems pretty wrong. It's not necessarily the fact that she's a princess that makes it wrong, it's the fact that she's a person. But, yeah, I'm gonna just go through all these real quick, because... Yeah. Just because I'm still not sure what that Explorer tag means, besides things won't progress, which might be all it means, but now that we've reset the world twice, in fact... I don't know if that changes between runs, like normal runs, because we've clearly had 2 non-standard runs so far. I love this. Sometimes I make such bad decisions that I just have to laugh. Oh, dearie me. Also need to release the tension from that, because that got very weird, very interesting, very creepy, and very... Okay, I see why people like this game. Fascinating. Okay. Focus up. We're here to stab a princess. And we're going to say that maybe we'll slay her, but this time I think I am just going to go stab her.
What happens, but a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out.
Yeah, sure.
And each and every one of us is doomed.
Well, I've seen a reality where you stop existing, but also it wasn't the end of the world. Adjacent to the end of the world, certainly, but wasn't the end.
Sure, go talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us.
Well, I saw how it turned out, and it was quite the experience. Kinda loved it.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin.
Kinda sorta loved
the
it.
princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're
supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Yes.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Didn't even give me another choice, but okay. Proceed into the cabin.
The interior of the
Okay,
cabin
it's normal.
is almost
We like that.
entirely bare. The air is stale and musty.
Take the blade. You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it. Enter the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase
Oh,
faintly
interesting.
illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
Was that the same voice as before? Because it doesn't
She
sound like it
sounds
was.
dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Hey, I think I'm here to kill you. Yes. I love the uncertainty.
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero.
I mean, why else would anybody come down
You
here?
walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
She's definitely different than she was before, but I don't know if that's because I grabbed the knife or not.
Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me.
I haven't decided yet.
How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
I think there's 50-50 odds on her killing us in cold blood if we drop the knife. So, nah, I think I'm good.
You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
You step forward,
Should I be?
your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
Interesting idea. Could I just throw it at her? Like a throwing knife? I know those are pretty risky. I might just accidentally hit her in the head and then she has a knife, so maybe not the best of ideas. But it's an option.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
Are you sure she's not armed? Are you sure she's not armed? I'm sorry, can we just talk? Although he does say, if you hesitate now, it'll be too late to end this. So I'm curious.
Doubt, unfortunately, clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through. A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust and deliver a catastrophic blow to your jaw.
Hell yeah!
It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer.
Best
You can
princess.
feel bone grinding on bone where your jaw has been fractured. Holy shit, that hurt! Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to stagger you, putting you and the princess on somewhat equal footing. Your blade slashes through the air
damn.
again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit. We can still turn this around.
Flee and lock her in the basement. Tempting, but let's finish the job.
You and the princess stare at each other, both gasping for breath, equally exhausted. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can at least make sure that she won't make it out of here either.
That is such a great shot. I love that.
Excuse me? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is still standing right now. Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there?
No,
The princess
I can't,
doesn't do our
actually.
friend in herself. Internal bleeding is certain to finish the job.
Well, guess we're resetting this timeline.
The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess's heart.
Again, look at this face. For one thing, eyes too big, horrifying. I've established that. I'm only kind of poking fun there, but also, like, god damn it, the artist did amazing work with this. I love this. Anyway,
Oh.
move on. Yeah, you You die, I die. Congratulations, we killed each other. Good job.
The two of you fall to the floor.
It was a good fight.
This was fun.
Hell yeah.
The princess gasps, her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lungs start to fill with blood.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would. But I have to wonder, do you really think this is the end?
No, in fact, I don't.
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
The adversary, you say? Okay.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the
And at the end of that path is a cabin.
And
in the basement of that cabin is a princess. Indeed, indeed. And a little bit of a distortion in the background, which makes me think this is going to go in a direction, as it were. Unfortunately, I'm kind of running out of time. So, we're going to save there. I kind of want to do this again just to get a look at my face a second time. But, Okay. So there are definitely points where I feel like I should have saved and reloaded and sort of messed around with the save system, but I kind of love what's happening right now. I less love, which is not the proper English way to phrase that, but I am less in love, we'll say, with what the fuck that thing was. That entity with the hands and the claiming the princess as its vessel. That has me concerned, but also, it states it's not the thing that trapped us here, which implies the existence of yet another entity, which may be the narrator, but probably isn't, because I feel like the narrator is trapped here the same as us. Like, there's the narrator, the voices, I guess, the princess, and us. Which I guess us includes the voices in that structure. But then we have the entity in the between spaces and whatever's trapped us here. Clearly, whatever trapped us here and wants us to kill the princess to prevent the other entity from having a vessel, perhaps? I don't know. But clearly, I'm just thinking that it did say this was a love story, which does not necessarily mean between us and the princess. It could mean between the two entities at the end of the world, as it were. The thing between and whatever is trapping us here. Curious thoughts, curious ideas. I am wondering how the meta-narrative will go, and kind of wondering how this particular timeline's gonna go, because I'm a sucker for a badass princess who can fight. I'm sorry, I am. It's a trope that I love. But all this and more, we will explore soon. Very, very soon, because I want to know more. But for now, we must take a pause. Thank you all for your time. Note the like, comment, and subscribe buttons below. Use them responsibly. And I will see you all soon. Goodbye. Yeah, saved there. I do want to get one more look at my face, though. Perhaps later. Anyway, bye.